You know, for the most part, every military show is the same cliche shit.
He was a Tier 1 operator, but he also was a dad just trying to make it to his daughter's recital.
Blah, 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 blah. Bruh, I didn't press play for a Hallmark drama. I'm here to watch you and the military brass make up an excuse to go to another country and shoot people in the face for trying to do some evil shit. Not post-deployment relationship counseling and drama in the military barracks wives club. Like, no bullshit. I used to fast forward the unit every single time they went back to the wives. Ma'am, respectfully, I don't care that your husband forgot your birthday. I care how many targets he dropped in that compound. But Lioness, the show Lioness, and there are some other shows too, and I'll get to those later on in different videos, but the show Lioness caught me off guard.
Jesus Christ.
Because it did the whole family meets mission thing, and I didn't eye roll my way through the entire show every time they did it. Because just when the drama started to drag, like right when it's about to hit a point where I'm like, boom, back on mission. No fluff, no filler, just sexy ass Zoe Saldana and her unassuming but very assuming sexy ass clearing rooms in full kit with a Spear LT was just so damn enjoyable to watch. And I'm telling you, when I saw that Spear LT on screen, something clicked. I already had the rifle, but seeing it in that context, it was like the gun whispered, "You've been sleeping on me, Noir." So I did what any gun guy would do who sees a gun in a movie or TV show. I paused the episode, walked my black ass to my safe, pulled out the Spear LT, and set it on the center table so I can look at it while I watch the rest of the episodes. Now, let's take it back. For those that don't know, the show Special Ops Lioness is a CIA Black Ops show with actual grit. It's led by Zoe Saldana, who plays a masochistic, rage-filled, brutally smart, agency-filled operative responsible for recruiting emotionally vulnerable women, and then training them just enough not to die, and then sending them into the belly of terrorist organizations. Kind of get the point now? Now, the name of the show is Lioness because they're women who hunt, and typically female lions do the hunting. I just made that shit up. I don't know if that's why it's called Lioness. It could be, it could not be, but I just made the shit up because it made sense in my head. Now, these women are not operators in the truest sense of the word. They're essentially assets. Actually, they're highly trained glorified crash dummies. And they get thrown into hostile zones with nothing but a cover story, a weak-ass backup plan, and Zoe watching from a drone feed until she has to go get their ass. And the crazy part is, Zoe's character knows it. She knows she's using these women, but she does it anyway because that's her job and she's a fucking true blue patriot. Now, I was worried this was gonna be another tiny woman dropkick 6'4" terrorist in a tank top type show, but hey, they didn't go there. They didn't. They didn't turn Zoe into an invincible super soldier who could do no wrong. Zoe's character in this show is a fucked up person, but you still find her endearing and likable.
Sounds kind of like you.
More than kinda.
Now, real quick, if you're loving this deep dive into movie scenes, guns, and all the behind the scenes goodness, then trust me, you're gonna love my podcast called The Pew Culture. Pew, 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 pew. I co-hosted with my good friend Jacob.
I am Jake.
Who just so happens to be an actual movie armorer. And I'm talking a legit Hollywood armorer. Jacob's the guy responsible for putting guns into some of the biggest blockbusters you've ever seen. And he's working on projects right now that I can't even tell you about, because otherwise Hollywood might have to send John's Wick ass after me. Or, oh, actually, I hope they send Ballerina. I like her. But the beautiful thing about having Jacob on the podcast is we get to unpack a treasure trove of Easter eggs, insider secrets, and fascinating behind the scenes details about movies and their guns. We talk about actors, their gun skills, or lack thereof, and hilarious production stories you'd never hear anywhere else. Listening to the Pew Culture podcast is like sitting down with your best gun nut friend, watching movies, critiquing action scenes, and laughing your ass off. Trust me, it is a wealth of entertainment, information, and fun. So hit the link below, head over to the Pew Culture podcast channel, smash the subscribe button, and then get ready to geek out with us. But now, let's be real. Zoe Saldana on the screen with a rifle? Yeah, I was watching that regardless. And not to mention, Zoe Saldana seemingly was always naked when she came back home. So in all fairness, it made the homely stuff kind of easier to watch. But now that I say that out loud, it sounds kind of weird. But anyway, see, what made me stay though was the gear, the Spear LT, the tactics, the night vision rates.
Sure.
It felt like someone behind the scenes actually knew what they were doing. And that's what sparked it. There's a scene in Lioness where the team hits a house in San Antonio. It was like a night op, they had full kit. They go in under night vision goggles and wipe out a terrorist cell in complete silence. It was one of the cleanest, most satisfying tactical scenes I've seen on TV in a while. And that was it. I had already planned to build out my Spear LT, but that scene flipped the switch, because otherwise it was just kind of sitting in my safe, being all regular. But then suddenly, I wasn't just building a rifle, I was configuring it for a mission I was never going on. And it was so much fun. That scene gave me vision, and I built my Spear LT accordingly. Let me show you how I set this thing up. You see, the Spear LT by itself is sleek and balanced until you start adding shit. That's when the front heavy weight shows up. And thanks to the short stroke piston system, I had to be smart about what went on and where it went. So let's start with the suppressor. First thing, I hate gas blowback, I hate it. So I went with the Huxworth flow through 556K can. It's not the quietest can in the world, it's not designed to be, it's designed to be flow through. But it does what I needed to do, reduce back pressure and keep my face clear of gas and prevent me from blowing my eardrums out. With the Spear LT's gas system, the combo is clean and perfect. Now, my kind of light laser setup was inspired by the night raid scene. I knew this rifle needed a low-vis setup, so I built it for nighttime efficiency. I've got a Surefire Scout Light Pro with a DS SR07 pressure pad for white light, and for the laser system, I added the MAW C1 Plus, hands down the most ergonomic laser I've used. But remember, all that shit I was saying about being careful what I put on the Spear LT so it wouldn't become front heavy? Yeah, all of that shit went out the window once I put the MAW C1 Plus on this rifle. This rifle is kind of light BBW status. I can keep the light on momentarily or permanently with ease, but when I need to go dark and hit IR, all I have to do is shift my hand forward and boom, I'm on the MAW. I can switch between high, medium, and low pressure settings, or go from focus beam to flood just by changing my thumb position. See here, see here. No flipping dials, no extra movement, just intuitive controls. All right, now so let's talk about this Magpul M-Lock AFG. It isn't just for support, it's a tactical system. When my hand is in the grip, my thumb rests naturally on top of the pressure pad housing. I can apply rear pressure for control of recoil without it risking a negligent discharge of my light. Then I can slide my thumb back and I can engage the momentary light. Move my index finger outside of the grip, thumb hits the MAW. Every part of my hand placement has a purpose. And if I fatigue from C-clamping the gun, because y'all know I love to C-clamp, I can tuck back near the mag well, lower my elbows, and still run the light without giving up control. Now let's talk optics. I've got the EOTech EXPS3 on a Unity Tactical Fast Absolute riser. That riser gets my optic higher, faster to acquire targets, and easier to run with gear on. Behind that, I'm running the EOTech G43 magnifier on the Unity Fast Omni magnifier mount. It flips out smooth, locks in clean, and doesn't throw off my setup. QD mount too, because some days I love it, and other days I just want to take it off and throw it across the room because it does add some weight to it, and you know, weight sucks. Now, the stock grip surprisingly stayed on this gun. Normally I change those out first, but this one felt too good to ditch. I'm pretty sure it's white labeled Magpul shit, but it works. As for the stock, I started with a fixed metal tail hook. It looked great, but once the magnifier went on, my eye relief got jacked up. So I swapped it to the Sig telescoping folding stock. Now I've got adjustability, I got better balance, and it still folds, see right here. If I can remember how to freaking fold it. I can make it hard as shit. How do I fold it? Yeah, I'm stupid. It's really easy, actually. See there? Huh? I can still fold it. It's tight. Now it's neat, clear. You know. Yeah, we're gonna act like that didn't happen. Now look, this isn't some Maw Ninja build. It's not a cosplay gun. This is a purpose-built setup inspired by a show that actually got it right. Lioness didn't just entertain me, it reminded me why we obsess over every little detail on our rifles. Because function is freedom, control is confidence. And when it all comes together, you get a rifle that just makes sense. So if I ever find myself dropping out of a helo at night with Zoe Saldana on my 6, this is the rifle I'm running. And let's be honest, who am I fooling? This is kind of cosplay. This is literally cosplay. I built this rifle based on a show that's not real. But technically, there's some real functionality here. A lot of real functionality, but let's just be real. I based this build on a TV series that's not real, but you get the point. Oh, another thing, don't forget to check out these bad boys, the AKT1 Blackouts. These are my favorite in-ear wireless Bluetooth hearing protection. See, if I was actually on the show, that's the one thing I would change. I'm like, hey, you gotta give them ear pro that's smart, not dumb ear pro. They probably did have some fancy smancy ear pro, but these right here, awesome. They're low profile, you probably wouldn't even notice them. You know, it works great. You know, you got Bluetooth. I could be on Hilo, listening to some Future, sit next to Zoe Saldana. Then I could take a phone call when my mama calls me and asks me why I'm on a Hilo, listening to Future, sitting next to Zoe Saldana. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, these are great. And then when the shots start firing and stuff, it minimizes all the bad sound, but still lets me hear Zoe Saldana scream my name. Okay, that just got awkward. But anyway, you get the point. These are my favorite wireless Bluetooth hearing protection, the AKT1 Blackout. So I'm gonna put a link in the description section of the video so you can check them out. Boy, I gotta learn to control myself with these Zoe Saldana references. And it is a married woman.